Hey, we're back. Amelia Perez killed my headset, but I got a new one. That thing was trash. Okay, so you'll notice a Bostonian snuck their way into our podcast.
Absolutely cannot beat it after this past Sunday. We cannot go without the glory that are known as the Dun Kings.
Good. I didn't know where he was going with that. All right.
I really didn't know either.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Yes. All right. So let's get on our way with our weeks here. Since Mike, you popped up first, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Nothing too out of the ordinary for this past week. Just kind of business as usual. Saw a couple movies. One of them was really good. Heart Eyes, a new slasher movie.
I saw trailers for that.
And I saw Love Hurts, the action comedy with Ki Kwan. And unfortunately, it wasn't great, but he was really good.
That's what I hoped for.
and there are some really good fight scenes.
Really all you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Awesome. Bree, I don't think anything important happened with anything that you liked this week.
Oh, yeah, no, nothing important. Just was a really calm, nothing week. I just had my coffee, opened the newspaper. Honestly, we're going to get more to it later, but not even in my wildest dreams. We had White Boy Summer early. Holy shit. So that was definitely fun. The other fun thing that happened is my friend Gio and I started our new podcast, Le Crap. Our first episode is out now. We talk about Jupiter Ascending. It's really good. Please listen to it.
Nice.
It is Le Crap.
Nice. Excellent. All right. Kiona.
Hi. So, my week was kind of uneventful, to be honest. Like, I feel like there wasn't much happening.
It's nice to have
I'm
it
getting
every now
back to
and then.
writing a story that I've had in my head for at least a decade. So,
Nice.
Nice.
yeah, it's been in there. It's been in there just noodling around. And then we have what else? I don't know. We watched Raw last night. That was good.
Yeah. All right. Tommy, go ahead. How was your week?
I love dogs. I've always loved dogs.
God damn it.
But do you create life?
I feel like I missed something.
Oh!
I will send you the GIF. It's
Oh God!
you might break another set of headphones if I
No,
actually show you the clip.
Let's
No,
not.
don't do it. Don't do it. It's cursed. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Crafty, hi.
Hello, Crafty.
Hey.
Thank you for being here. Go on, Tommy.
But to answer your question, I woke up, fell out of bed, tried to comb across my head now. It's snowing here in the New England tri-state area. The snow is looking really, really nice on the ground. It's just really beautiful and perfect reminder of what winter is all about. We've had some things are going great. We've got night coming up this week. Science Center, which is allowing up and coming scientists to really showcase what they are bringing to the table in future generations, which is fantastic. And we, and as myself, I'm working on some writing. Went to saw real. If you follow me on Instagram, and keep it up with my story, you'll see what I've been up to as far as advanced screenings and all that. Be on the lookout for my review later, and working with what it is, nice Brie. With the best way to get new features out there. So stay tuned.
Nice. Excellent. As far as weeks go, I had friend over on Saturday, did some stuff. Watched the Super Bowl. I watched the Super Bowl with my roommate's brother and his wife is a Pennsylvania-born Chiefs fan. I don't know how to quantify the feeling that I had wondering how this Super Bowl was going to go. But it, Alexa, somehow, if you're watching this, I am so sorry. Because they come walking in and then they're like, oh, we're so excited. Like, say what everyone wants. I will say there was some, this NFL season went on, to say there was bad calls is being generous. And as that Super Bowl started, there was 2 calls, one on each team, where they
they're such bullshit.
Looked at the other guy's face mask and fouls got called. So I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. This game's going to be fucking great. But yeah,
listen, bro, we gotta.
Honestly, they're so lucky the officiating didn't matter.
The officiating didn't matter because we saw a live slaughtering on national television. And I'm not just talking about the halftime show.
Oh, God. Yes.
Great night for haters.
Jeez.
Listen, bro, we got to take
really
this thing and throw that swerve in there every so often. Make the refs throw in a bad call left and right and really keep the audience on their feet. That's how you swerve the audience, bro.
I wasn't on my feet. I was on my seat wondering how much more points Jalen Hurts was going to score. Man, there's going to be a talk with that offensive line for the Chiefs on Monday. Oh, or there sure was already on Monday because it's anyway. The big thing that I did do, and I don't want to go into too much detail with the story because there's people that are in this podcast that I want to talk to about doing a fresh takes on it. I watched Death Parade. I knew literally nothing about this show outside of it had an 11 out of 10 banger for an intro. Because I've seen it in compilations and I've heard from other people. And this was like number 16 on a list of shows that I had. Could not tell you what made me jump that up the list. I was like, oh, I'd always looked cool, and it's only 12 episodes, so I'm like, you know what? We can just get it in there and get it done with. And it's like a 13 out of 10, and I'm not exaggerating. It's so well done. The idea of just how to properly judge someone and what causes humans to make certain choices. It might be the most interesting way I've seen the human character studied in an animation format in my life. It's like shockingly amazing. The art style's fantastic. There's only like 5 main characters in the whole show, and it's all the better for it. It's really good. The animation is top notch. It's so tightly wound or just tightly knit. There's no fat on that show whatsoever. There was not another episode needed and not an episode could have been cut. It was so freaking well done. And yeah, we'll get more on that because that's going to be in a series on a thing for, it was just really freaking good. But, okay, so we're going to get to the doc here. So I have to bring up a picture, actually, because we're going to be buying or selling. I'm going to start with Kiona. Buy or sell. Our first look at the Mortal Kombat logo and our new Johnny Cage.
I like it. I like it so much. Yes, Rebel without a cage.
It's so stupid. It's the best.
It's so dumb. It is the greatest thing. It totally matches Johnny Cage. It's so stupid. I love it so much, and I need more of this, and Carl Urban is an inspired choice for casting.
I did not buy Carl until I saw this photo. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you look like the biggest douchebag ever, and I love it.
does. It matches perfectly. I
Oh,
like the logo
appreciate-
too. I kind of like what they did there.
the logo looks very, what I want to say, classic. It looks throwback.
Yeah, no, I really
feels
like
very
it.
throwback.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate that they actually put effort into both of those posters.
Yes.
Same.
The fact that they put effort into making the poster look like there's no effort in it. Like
I
they made it look like a bad action comedy from the 80s. Looks awesome.
Uncaged Fury.
The only thing I wish they would have
Oh.
done, Cody, I wish they would have put Ninja Mime on there. For those that don't know, in
yes.
Mortal Kombat 9, there's a movie from Johnny Cage. It's called Ninja Mime, where it says you
Ninja
won't hear him
Mime.
coming. Mike, buy or sell?
Yeah, I buy that. Kind of like Kiona, I wasn't sure how I felt about Johnny Cage being played by Carl Urban, but that poster has convinced me. Okay, I'm in.
Yes.
This same guy is Billy Butcher. Look at him.
He's
Tommy,
just action guy. I
Yes.
love this about him.
Yes.
I honestly do.
Tommy, buy or sell?
I would say, and to reiterate, because I saw the image on I saw the image on X, but it's two separate posters, right?
It's two separate posters. I just put it on so we can both look at both of them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll buy it. I think that would have been an interesting take if they went with that title over this one, but we'll see. I wonder what the appeal would still be. I mean, obviously, Carl's is gonna kick ass in the role, but in the vein of filming Uncaged Fury, hopefully he didn't break any bones.
Hopefully not. And I'm just noticing now that the extra detail that is super stupid in this, he's looking at an explosion in the reflection of his glasses. So they're making it look like there's an explosion in front of him. I just
Yes.
noticed that now. That is phenomenal.
That's phenomenal.
Bree, I assume you
That's
buy
the
this as well.
greatest.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, the Cage poster is great, but the Mortal Kombat logo, like, it's so like mid '90s coded. Like, I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yes,
it's
it's very
somehow
much
a new
90s.
version of that logo that has been done to death. Somehow they made a new one, and I don't know how they did that. Okay, for this next one, I'm going to start with Mike. Mike, buy or sell that a Connecticut lawyer has introduced a bill that will require movie theaters to disclose A, what time trailer starts, and B, what time the movie actually starts.
So I buy the like the sentiment behind this bill. I sell that it's actually going to pass.
I will shit a brick if that bill passes. Tommy, buy or sell?
This is what politics has come to these days when they've got nothing better to do. And as a Connecticut,
Oh,
the flying French toast. I mean, when you look at this is a Democrat. Who is presenting this?
Hey man, he likes his movies on time, okay?
Yeah,
It's a hard
still.
He doesn't want to watch trailers. I
He
mean,
doesn't.
First of all, as somebody who works at a movie theater, and somebody who I would convince my regional manager to send a personal invite to his office to really emphasize the cinematic experience and showcase the Cinelife pre-show while having a gourmet meal to go along with it, encouraging guests to arrive early so that way they can have their seat, enjoy the coming attractions trailers, and then go into the movie so you can get the full experience. And obviously, there's a particular pre-show that it sounds like he's never mentioned before. it's something that centers around picks of upcoming releases, trivia, games, promotion, much more. One word, 5 letters. It's on the tip of my tongue. Captain, can you help me here with what I'm referring to? Thank you. Oh my. I mean, the whole purpose of going to the movies is emphasizing the cinematic experience. And to do that, and to present this bill without understanding the different types of movie theaters that go along with it, like here in the Harford County area, you've got Sinopolis, where I work at Blueback Square, and then you've got the AMC Plainville 20, and then the Cinemark in Manchester. 3 completely different theaters that provide completely different types of showcasings in cinematic formats that one is able to get that experience. It's that experience that emphasizes the differentiations in such, and it's important to get there and to get there and see that pre-show in its different variations and enjoying the experience as a whole and get one's money's worth. There's more to it than the price of admission. I mean, can you just focus on things like helping the local Connecticut community, like those who are trying to focus on affordable housing, affordable healthcare, and so on and so forth? I mean, my God.
Those people care more about seeing their movie on time.
No, I mean, I kind of agree with the sentiment, like, at least for, like, the first thing, like, at least say, okay, this is, like, when the trailer's starting, if it's for a larger, like, chain, and then, like, exempt, like, smaller change. But, again, like you're saying, this is fucking stupid.
This is when you know we're going to hell. This will never pass. This will never pass. It's one of the stupidest bills, one of the stupidest proposals you'll ever accept. It's newsworthy just to draw attention. I mean, it's like that a castration thing a Louisiana lawmaker proposed last year. Like it's just to draw attention, but it'll never pass.
We'll move on from that one.
Yeah, I got everybody to shut up.
All right. Kiona, buy or sell the new Thunderbolts trailer that they decided to show half of during the Super Bowl, and then sponsor the Super Bowl on it.
Yeah. Sure. No, I think actually watching the full trailer though, it was actually pretty good trailer. Not bad. I mean, it looks cool. Looks like a good movie. Yeah.
Yes. Mike?
Yeah, I buy it.
I actually think this is the best trailer that they've put out for the Thunderbolts so far. So yeah, it's a buy.
Brie?
Yeah, I thought it was a solid trailer. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, was Thunderbolts the only major trailer that debuted during the game?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
Not during. During the game itself. Yeah, I mean, there was a new F1 trailer that came out during the pregame. In addition to some wonderful.
Still, that's bizarre. Like, I can't ever recall a year where there hasn't been at least 3 movie trailers.
I was kind of shocked they didn't wait to have Fantastic Four during that as well.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
It was weird, but Tommy, buy or sell?
I'll buy. It did its duty. It got the hype up there, and in the case of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Tulsi Gabbard calls. She wants her look back.
I do have to say, someone pointed out something in the trailer that I thought was really funny. There's that scene where they're all tied up in like that living room or whatever, kneeling down. Someone pointed out that Yelena is tied up with rope and that the Red Guardian and John Walker are tied up with steel bars.
Love that.
I'm like,
hey, I'm
that's
Rion.
really good. Hello, I'm Rion. All right, now I have to ask, before I even ask about this next buy or sell, did anyone actually watch this?
I actually did. Not the movie, just the trailer.
All right, so I gotta ask you, buy or sell this that got sent to me because I didn't know it existed. Buy or sell the trailer for Spermageddon.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It is a movie that exists from the director of Violent Night.
Yes! I killed Tommy. I did it! Tommy hasn't been here for 20 minutes and I got him. What is this? What? I thought it was fake!
Nope, it's real.
Yeah, initially I thought it was fake too. Oh my god, it's a weird ass fever dream, man.
Just like my buddy sent me this. He's like, "What kind of trailers are people like?" No.
Oh god
looks-
damn it.
Umbreon, no. His would be would be Spermageddon 2, the child support strikes
No.
back.
This is. First of all, now I'm going to have to take a shower, and now I'm going to have to go to confession on Saturday just by. I mean, why?
Because God is dead.
Because I had
There
to
is
put
no
it in
God.
there. There's a lot of things where I'm like, that's not newsworthy, but I put it on the podcast to get a reaction, and I got one. All right. We are through buy or sell here, and now we are on to the. Oh, Mike, did you buy or sell? I didn't hear you.
I am
He's ashamed. That's what he is. He needs a
Catholic
shower.
shame.
yeah, shame.
Oh, buy it, god damn it.
I'll go.
My
I'll
mom's
take
not
it all
watching
the
that.
way to the sperm bank. Okay.
I sure hope my mom's not watching this.
Oh, she could have been watching last week. Don't worry.
Yeah, we've had some bangers in here.
We had a
Oh my
20-minute
God.
segment dedicated to Amelia Perez and my microphone, my headphones breaking.
The power of Christ compels you to get new headphones.
So the power of Christ did not. Something the very
No,
opposite
it was
compelled me.
definitely Not that.
Last week was crazy. Yes, it was, Umbreon. Okay, all right.
It was a combination of both Amelia Perez and Fred Durst.
Check out that melody.
Yeah, we're gonna let you. We took him to the Matthews Bridge, as one might say. So we've got a slew.
All about the he said, she said nonsense.
It was some nonsense, that was for sure.
It was
We've got
definitely some
some-
nonsense.
We've got some WB news. Rocksteady is now currently working on a single-player Batman game again, but it's supposedly years away. A Flash game was in works at WB Montreal, but it was scrapped after the poor reception to the movie. A Constantine game was pitched but never approved. And
Yeah.
on
I
reports
would like
of
the Constantine game, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah,
what do you
I've said
say?
multiple times I wouldn't mind like freaking Remedy making like a Doctor Strange game. Like after I played Control,
That'd be
it was
so
like
cool.
that would be awesome.
Oh yeah,
But
completely.
another one, Monolith's upcoming Wonder Woman game is struggling in development. Supposedly the development restarted last year.
Wow.
Struggled to coalesce, directors are switched. It already cost them around $100 million, and it's still years away from launch, if it ever does. The report was supposedly there was a shit ton of live service elements in it, and I'm going
Uh-huh.
to guess that if there was, there no longer is.
Hmm.
Brock
Could
goes
have
all
guessed
of
that. Could have guessed that.
I don't all of them. Yeah.
Well, how
I-
would you even make Wonder Woman work as a live service game to begin with?
I
Like,
have no
genuinely,
idea.
I'm asking.
What you would do is they're trying to, you know what a Game Pass is, right?
Yeah.
A continuous Game Pass where
Hmm.
you would just keep adding
Oh.
stuff over time, like bosses and
Oh, yeah.
areas and
No,
Yeah.
absolutely the fuck not.
no, because you would never. I would not. You'd have to sell it at a price point that I wouldn't want to pay.
Especially
Yeah.
since, the last couple, like, DC games have been kind of,
Because of Josh Lozano, I am against my will trying Suicide Squad because he tempted me into it.
I mean, it's dirt cheap. I think the main live service is ending.
Oh,
but
it's dirt cheap. I got it for free
Ugh.
on PlayStation Network. It was dirt cheap. It was the
got
exact
it.
price I would buy it for, free.
So
Yeah,
so
I
here,
got it for free on Epic Games Store.
well, here's the
They
real
had that
question.
going on.
Here's the real question, Brock. Would you rather play that or or Atari ZT?
ET.
I would play Atari's ET because I'd honestly want to wonder if it was as bad as everyone said it was.
Yeah. Hands down.
Because I know what the Suicide Squad's going to be. I don't know how ET's going to feel. And I can then tell someone that I played ET. No one's going to brag about playing Suicide Squad. They can brag about playing ET.
Yeah.
I think I paid like $20 for it and I want my money back. I wish you could get your money back, Umbreon.
Like, that's a waste of $20. For $20, you could have gone Hades, like Jesus Christ, and probably like another game.
You could have. All right. So, another week, another statement on AI, because we can never go a week without getting one.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick says he thinks the use of AI in game development could increase, these are my favorite 2 words, increase employment and productivity. And that is as long as the IP isn't infringed upon, he can't think of any new guardrails that need to be implemented.
Oh, okay, can I just say something? Okay, so because here's a lot of things most people are confused about, like AI things. If we're talking about like, I mean, he doesn't mean this, but let's just pretend that he means like old-fashioned like machine learning AI.
Actual
for, like,
good AI?
Yeah. Like the stuff that you have like for like content moderation tools, which that's, I guess, a new Blue Sky controversy that they are using AI for like moderation. I'm like, you mean the thing that most websites like use to moderate because there's too many posts?
There's way too much.
Again, this is why the internet is not real life and people just need to not run their mouths. But let's just kind of refocus here.
Yeah.
In terms of like Gen AI, it's not good. I mean, we've kind of like talked to the moon and back with that, but these CNEOs need to stop and just, I don't know. Here's like this is like a crazy idea. Like I should be locked up in an insane asylum for this idea, but
what if we paid people?
Hold on. Are you meaning to tell me that if we paid people, they would come up with ideas? But I'm told we can't afford to pay writers.
I don't know. Like I said, it's a crazy thing. Like I'm like the craziest. Like put me in a straitjacket right now. Like what if we paid people their worth, and we had like, you know, tools to actually assist them in like menial like just tasks or stuff that would be way too difficult for a human to do, and realize that, you know, generative AI is not this magic box. It's actually run by people who are getting severely underpaid and it can't really do creative tasks. So let's like, I don't know, not do that. I know, like it's totally crazy, right, guys?
But see, Bree, what you don't understand is you can only break out the money in case of emergencies. Because like Disney can't pay their writers, but they can give a small country to the Russo brothers to write 2 movies.
I know. Like this is like, I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even know why you even had me on this podcast.
I don't know either.
As I said, as I said before on my debut episode here on Zeroing Out, there's nothing artificial about human intelligence. Life lesson. Take it, run with it. Send me my royalties while you do it.
Tell your mom, tell your kids.
Grab your Dunkin' and enjoy the rest of your week.
Good God. All right. So there was a small new detail that we learned about okay, so I am not trying to start a pissing match with this, but this just made me laugh really hard. So ever since, Kiona, you remember when they announced that Ninja Gaiden was going to be published by Xbox?
Yes.
And that somehow Xbox fanboys were more happy about the fact it was being published by Xbox than the game coming out?
Yes.
Because then that meant, in their minds, that it was an Xbox first-party game then? Just because they were publishing it. And that opened up the floodgates for the stupidest amount of arguments to where they're like, as long as it's published by someone, it's a first-party game. So then, Katakawa, with expert timing, announces, We will, a part of our collaboration with Sony, we will expedite the creation and distribution of intellectual property by enhancing collaboration in the Sony Group cooperation, securing funding, and will publish our games.
Very
So
well.
now From Software games are first-party Sony games by their own stupid rules.
Sure. Okay.
We need to
Sure,
stop
why
this
not?
crap. Stop.
Stupid rules.
So stupid.
Don't you understand your own delusion?
The only thing that is giving me some pause over Ninja Gaiden, which I'm sure is going to be an excellent title, Ninja Gaiden 4. But the only thing that's giving me pause about it is the fact that we heard of more exits from Platinum, which I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah, they supposedly have. There was, like, Kamiya said they supposedly might have lost like 5 other game directors.
Yeah, that sucks.
Whoa. Well, that's not good.
That ain't good.
Here's the thing, though, and Kiona, I bet you could probably agree with me on this.
Yeah.
What is the best work, and I mean, honest to God, taking out personal favorites, the best work that Platinum has done? I'm going to name 2 things and see if you agree with me. Nier Automata and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
You know, I would go with Revengeance myself, but
Well-
Nier Automata obviously is excellent.
Well,
Love
I'm
that,
just saying
so.
the 2 tops. Do you
Yeah,
know
the
what
two top ones, yeah.
do you know what's similar between those 2? They didn't come up with the idea for them.
That's true.
So
Yeah, and it's not like they don't have support because they also
No.
have Team Ninja supporting them, so it's going to
Yes.
be fine, I think. I
I-
don't think it's going to be like, you know, a collapse of the game. Or anything,
what I
so.
think is probably going on is that they might not have a Platinum Games director. I think they have probably
Yeah.
some people from Team Ninja there, and then they went,
Yeah.
"Hey, your people know how to make the Cuddy thing look really good. How about you work with our game directors and do that?"
I honestly think that their best game that was their original game was probably like Vanquish, for me personally.
Vanquish
I
is
thought
up
Vanquish
there.
was
I
amazing.
really like Anarchy Reigns.
Oh, Anarchy Reigns, okay.
Anarchy Reigns is up there, but Vanquish is fantastic. I will take nothing away
Yeah.
from Vanquish. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The original Bayonetta is up there too. I
Yeah,
will
the
not say
original
that it's
Bayonetta,
not.
Good stuff.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we're fine. I think that game is going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be perfectly okay. It's just I understand some.
They did a really good
You
job.
might as
in
well
Ninja
be
Gaiden 2 Black.
might as well
also,
be speaking
so.
in alien language. I know what you're talking about, Umbreon. I didn't see that earlier. I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah.
All right. So the UK government has rejected calls to The UK government has rejected
fine.
calls to strengthen regulations protecting consumers against publishers disabling video games they've already sold.
Oh.
What was that racing game? If you remember, I don't know if you played racing. Probably the only person who remembers is Kiona. Was it the Crew that Ubisoft was taking out
Yeah.
of people's Steam
I think it was the Crew. Yeah, I
Steam
think it
libraries?
was.
Yeah. They were going into people's Steam libraries and deleting the
crazy.
game.
Like,
That's-
That's like super fucking illegal. Jesus Christ.
Seriously.
And I'm going to quote an Ubisoft head developer. Consumers need to get used to not owning their games.
bullshit.
Well, I mean,
Absolute bullshit.
Umbria, not to get political, but the UK isn't exactly known for making good economic decisions as of late. So
Mm.
And I'm gonna I know that I've said
I
this, and
can't
I'm pretty sure
believe they
almost
rejected.
everyone in here has said this. If purchasing isn't how does that go? How does that saying go? If purchasing isn't owning, then piracy isn't theft.
There you go.
Point.
It-
Good point.
Yeah.
it's just not. It's so simple. All right, we're almost done and through the gaming news here. I forgot how stupid this fucking headline was. EA boss suggests Dragon Age the Veilguard didn't meet expectations as it lacked live service components.
Come again?
Read the room, buddy. Like, No one is clamoring for more live service elements in their stupid ass games. Okay, it failed.
I'm like,
If
did
you
he
wanna call it
not
a
see
failure.
that
Yeah.
Sony like canceled like pretty much all their live service games because they're like, oh fuck,
Yes.
we made a mistake.
Magically, when they got rid of Jim Ryan, they're like, "Oh wait, this was bad."
Like,
And-
wow, this is a money pit. I'm like, let's not do that.
Here's the thing, Umbreon. When one of them works, it does. Here's the key problem. A live service game in itself can work. Final
Yes.
Fantasy XIV makes a bajillion dollars for Square Enix all the time. Call of Duty is essentially becoming a live service.
It's
The
essentially a live service game.
The problem is now the amount of people that want to play live service games rarely goes up.
Yeah.
And and whoever wants to play one wants to play one.
Yep.
I have a hard time committing myself to finish a single player game, let alone grinding on a live service game every freaking week. And Kiona, you're a former Destiny player. You know exactly how that is.
I'm a Destiny 2 guy and a Destiny 1 guy, and I enjoyed it for what it was, but I took month-long breaks, like multiple months, where I just took a break from the game because oh my god, it's so much. And like, even like the games that I play that are live services, like Fortnite, like Marvel Rivals, like,
There's not.
it's
just
Nope.
And like
It's
the other
just
thing
insane.
is too is like making like all these live service games made more sense when it was in lockdown and no one could leave.
Yep.
There was a market for
100%.
her, but everyone's back to work, so
Yeah.
that market has significantly shrunk over the last 3 or 4 years.
You bring up an exact point that compounds on the point you just brought up, which is the giant problem with video games now. And it's a good thing you said that. How long ago was COVID? 4 years ago. How long do games
On
take
five.
to make now?
Jesus.
Exactly.
4 to 5 years. So they
4 to
get
5
the
years,
idea
yeah.
of, yo, live service games are great. 6 years later, what do you mean
Yeah.
no one likes them anymore?
Yep.
I just can't with, and like, I will admit, here's the thing with saying something failed, because Square Enix says that Square Enix is one of the worst ones at this. Square Enix
they are.
said that Final Fantasy 16 failed, FF7 Rebirth, FF7 and all that failed to meet their expectation. Do you know what they're very afraid to say what their expectations were? Because they were probably way higher than they ever would have
Ridiculously
reached.
high? Yeah.
They'll say they failed, but they won't say what. Now, EA did say what their thing was. They said it failed by like half, which apparently Dragon Age sold 1.5 million copies. I'll admit,
That's
saying
still
it
a
was
lot.
going to sell 3, that to me was an accurate thing for a Dragon Age game. Because as much as people want to believe, they sell worse every time. And I'm not making this political. I'm not. I am all for making diverse characters and doing whatever you want to be whatever. Do not make that the only selling point of your game and cram it down players' throats. Have it be a natural thing that is just in the game and have it be there. Because
Well-
you're making people hate a character before they get a chance to know them.
But not be there just to be there either.
I mean,
Yes,
that's
yes.
exactly what happened with Forspoken. Like they had that terrible fucking trailer, and then it turned out, oh wait, this is actually a good game, but the damage was already fucking done.
Yep. And they had all of that front loaded from the front. And like Tommy just said, have it be meaningful. Don't ramrod it, because a lot of times when you ramrod it, you don't actually know how to represent that character properly.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you do more damage than actual good wanting to represent that.
And
And that's-
really, yeah, I mean, it's really about like, you got to care about the characters first. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like you have to have some connection to them and you have to relate to them in some way.
Mhm.
As like in the story that I'm writing, not to make it about that, but the story that I'm writing
Alright.
is like, I have some characters that are basically bi.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things are going to happen, but it's like, it's coming from the characters' choices and it's coming from their interactions, and it's not just coming from like, oh, here I just wanted to put in this for no other reason besides just giving somebody a happy out there. It's like, yeah, it's.
And like,
so the problem with Dragon Age Veilguard is that the writing was just not up to par.
Oh, it's
from
bad.
what I've seen.
Even outside of the thing that people had the problems with, the writing was bad everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
exactly.
take no prisoners. Like, and here's like the other thing, and this is like the irony of everyone like rolling back like their diversity and exclusion programs. Was first of all like, fuck you. The other thing is that this keeps happening because the ones at the top are usually white male execs. So it's like,
yep,
diversity and inclusion. But I'm like, okay, where's the black game execs? Where's like?
Good question.
So I'm like, you went to inclusion, but I'm like, but for who? And this is why these stupid things keep happening. And then you have these reactionary types, and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we'll not focus as much on that stuff. I'm like, you didn't fucking do anything. You're like the tuxedo mask meme. Like, my job here is done. You didn't do anything.
Yeah, and and even from a story construction standpoint, like I was saying earlier, like how can you make it tie in to the story on a meaningful level for like to not just to place it in there just to be there. The first thing that comes to my mind is when Russell T Davies returned to showrun Doctor Who. It was the 60th anniversary episode, and there were two moments, and it ties back to what Chris Eccleston was so fascinated why he wanted to take on the role was to work with Russell. And fast forwarding to the 60th anniversary specials, two moments which I won't spoil came to that element, and the latter made sense specifically from a scientific terminology, and how that uniqueness came about because Russell said he had this idea to that he in the back of his mind that how he wanted to present the bi-scientific element to that particular moment. But the question would be how to make it more meaningful. And lo and behold, we get that moment on the rooftop in the third episode. But going back to, I believe it was the first episode when Donna woke up, like that moment, like it just came across as so forced and awkward. And it was just like, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, that's the type of moment where, networks like Fox News would have a field day.
Yeah.
That's not a knock against Fox News. That's just that's just something.
So you're saying it Amelia Perez itself?
Well, that was before Amelia Perez.
We do not mention that name on this podcast. Electronics get damaged.
Fuck. Sun's getting real.
Ah!
Thunder will then throw their lightning bolt down on you.
One last thing I was going to say in this, and I'm going to bring up two examples that I'm pretty sure I brought up before. On stuff like this, people that are of a religious group, myself, I'm a Christian, practicing Baptist. I don't care that it's in there. I want stories to have characters in them. I just want them to be written well. Exactly. I've openly said one of my favorite anime characters is a trans mechanic named Leron Littner from Gurren Lagann. He's the most flamboyant trans person I've seen in an anime in my life, and that's just how he is and who they are, I should say. Don't know which way they're going. They never mention it, but they're just there. And then my youth pastor, now my surrogate father, is the most, devout Christian I've met in my entire life. Asked me what was, I was staying with them when The Last of Us was coming out, when all the episodes were out. Asked me if he could wanted to watch The Last of Us with me. I'm like, sure. the episode with Bill came on. Do you know what he told me at the end of that? About the completely centric episode about a storyline between two gay lovers. He went, yeah, you really don't know what you lost until it's gone. No problems! The most devout Christian I met in my entire life was just happy the story was written well.
Yeah.
Well, and like Keona, as far as writing goes, I write Ruby fan fiction. The main character is a lesbian that falls in love with her best friend. We don't care as long as it's written well.
Yeah, that's entirely what it is. And I think that in the case of the Veilguard game, and in the case of Dragon Age Veilguard, it just kind of fell short of that. Even though I know I know people who like it, and I know people who didn't like it. And
the gameplay's fun, I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a fun game. If I'll pick it up when it goes on sale.
Getting back, I'll also add, getting back to the Doctor Who tie-in. One of the best television events. One of the best television stories of the 2000s period was Torchwood Children of Earth. I mean that. I mean that. At the end of episode 4. It's just day 4, I should say, of day 5. If you haven't watched Torchwood Children of Earth, it's one of the best. One of the most. It's one of the best event series you'll ever see. You'll ever see. 300 minutes of complete. It's. It has to be seen to be believed, but it's so much. It's like from science fiction to government espionage, all rolled into one, and one of the best villains you'll ever see, that's ever been created.
Nice. I'll take your word for it.
Please do. It's spectacular.
Absolutely. All right. On to the movie news.
Yes.
I am not an AMC member, so I'm just bringing this up to see if this affects anyone or what they think of it. AMC is making changes to their A-list memberships. Price increased to $26 a month, even higher if you live in California or New York. Members can now watch up to 4 films per week.
I have never lived near an AMC, but I do have Movie Pass, which I just found out recently that they now include PLF screens, so like Dolby, IMAX, 3D. You can use Movie Pass for everything now, which is
nice,
awesome.
Yeah, so it's not a complete.
No, absolutely not.
That's cool.
All right, I need to make sure I have this ready because I need to have. There we go. Okay, all right. Going on to the next one. Now, take this with a giant grain of salt because the source is My Time to Shine Hello. So this is more of me asking a question if you think this would be cool versus believing this rumor is true. Marvel Studios is reportedly considering Javier Bardem for the role of Mr. Sinister in the MCU.
I think there's a
it.
possibility there.
I can kind of see it, but there's another one. There's another one that I kind of like even more. Coleman Domingo as Mr. Sinister.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean,
that's good.
The only reason, I kind of believe this rumor has any weight is because Javier Bardem was in that terrible fucking Pirates of the Caribbean 5. He would definitely not be. He's like, the MCU's beneath me.
I like both of them as actors, Mike. I like Coleman Domingo as well. Yeah. So I could see either one of those two working.
I just want to see Mr. Sinister on screen after they cock-teased him for 6 movies and then did nothing with it because they shut down the Fox movies.
Yeah. The Essex House, whatever.
They had the freaking the vials at the end of freaking, I can't remember which one. They teased them in 6 different movies.
It was at the end of Apocalypse, I think.
Was it? Okay.
I think?
I don't remember.
Was it at the end of Logan?
Maybe. Because was that where Laura was being kept? They were getting
Oh
samples.
no, it was the end of Apocalypse. I think it was because like it was when they were cleaning, they were sanitizing like the facility or something, the weaponized facility.
Oh yeah, where Logan was being kept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So does anyone remember that Seth Rollins was in the new Captain America movie for roughly 5 minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So apparently, Seth Rollins did not fit the tone of the movie. Speaking to comicbook.com, the director of Brave New World, I'm going to mispronounce this, Julius Sona?
Close enough.
Okay, was asked about Rollins' involvement in the film and why he was cut. He said, when we're talking about characters like Serpent Society from publishing, who, as we know, are individuals dressed up as snakes and have snake-adjacent powers, that sounds like Seth Rollins, you're always iterating and trying to figure out the version that works best for a movie like this. I love Seth, he's incredible, but we were both evolving and we knew we had additional photography period. We just did early development process later on. We were trying to figure out, hey, who's somebody who can bring us a very specific time of gravitas to this role? And when Giancarlo became available, it was a no-brainer. So basically, we had time to reshoot the film and Giancarlo was available, so we chose him over Seth Rollins.
I
don't know what Seth Rollins could have brought to that role.
Now, to be fair, if Seth Rollins is going to play a Marvel character, a guy dressed up as a snake isn't far off.
That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good, honestly.
I'm Snake frickin' Rollins. Guess.
That's
Whoa! I'm gonna get copyright. Sorry. I'm just waiting for someone to give him the dig that his movie role didn't work out, but his wife's did. I'm waiting for that to come up on commentary.
Well,
like
Punk
it's gonna be
absolutely say that. It'll absolutely be Punk. You know what? That would be. You know. Go ahead, Tommy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it was Becky's. It was saying Becky's song first before they sang Seth's.
That is true. And now that I think about it, their songs aren't that far off when you put them next to each other.
No, they're not. The funny thing would be if they had actually reshot it and put Seth on one side and then put Punk on the other side.
Also, just not to sidetrack too much, but Punk last night was great. And then, like,
he was fantastic.
And then I saw the thing of Logan coming a mile away. I was just like,
yeah, me too.
Like, because I knew it was happening, and then I was just like, wow, that's like the most boring.
Did you hear what Punk said to McAfee on commentary? When he was coming out, he was facing towards McAfee, and he's like, whose music is that? I don't know whose music that is.
Didn't Seth also say that too?
Seth said that about, it wasn't about, I don't know if it was about Logan, but he mouthed it. He's like,
yes, he mouthed it, right?
Whose music is that? But then he said it to McAfee, and then McAfee went, that problem's been happening a lot lately.
I feel like they could find common ground in just hating Logan Paul. Like
that's
that
what might happen.
The commonality
that's what's gonna happen.
Punk and Seth.
Yes. They're both gonna kill him in the chamber.
Yes,
that's what I'm hoping. Oh, and not the nightmare scenario my one friend was saying is that they were too distracted, and that's how Logan gets through. Like, I swear to God, if Cena doesn't like kick his ass and be like the hero again.
I want to have a situation like where Orton took him out last year, where he was taunting and Orton just spiked his head into the floor and pinned him.
I think now, if anything, the one pop quiz hotshot, the one championship that Cena has never held
is Intercontinental, and I don't see him doing that at his last Mania.
Well, it doesn't have to be at his last Mania, but that's the one championship that that has eluded him over his illustrious career. Once he gets it, he'll get it all.
He will, but
But here's the real question. I mean, Jim Crockett Promotions put on Ric Flair's last match, And so now come December, Ruthless Aggression will be obvious for all intents and purposes. Will be John Cena's last match because it'll take place at the TD Garden in Boston. But who would be so worthy to be?
If they can pull it off and he's able to somehow do it, Kurt Angle.
That's what I was thinking, but
I don't think he'll be able to medically clear because he's openly said that his body's destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for all intents and purposes, I'd say I would throw in everything in the kitchen sink to.
Honestly, Randy Orton wouldn't be a bad bet for his last.
That'd be too redundant. Like, why not Stone Cold Steve Austin if you could throw in the right amount of money? What?
Because Stone Cold doesn't have a tie to him.
What? Stone Cold doesn't have a tie to him?
You heard what I said. you heard what I said, boy.
What?
All right, moving on.
But no, like that was, I mean, the reason why Stone Cold came back to fight KO was that WrestleMania was in Dallas. It was the perfect bookend because just like at Survivor Series 2003, that took place in Dallas, and his career got started in Dallas. His career ended in Dallas. It was the perfect bookend. It's like that Jordan's last shot as a Bull, his last points as a Chicago Bull, and then he came back to the Wizards Then he came back to play for the Wizards, even though he was still a good player. He wasn't that same Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who would it be? Why? And then watch between based on and then watch Ricky Starks comes into the picture or Maxwell Jacob Friedman finds some loophole to get out of his contract.
He only wishes. At this point, he only wishes.
At this point, yeah, that's like the biggest mistake. It's like when Sting missed an opportunity to come to WWE, had that match at WrestleMania 27, and then of course Victory Road transpired. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So rumors are Assassin's Creed Netflix live action series announced in October of 2020.
Wow.
Is reportedly on hold.
What year is this?
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they were going to have all the
25,
Animus stuff. They were going to have all the Animus stuff. That's the future stuff. They were going to have that on a show on Netflix and then have the games be without it and have it all in live action. That was their plan when they announced it.
Sounds stupid.
It's on hold. However, a new live action movie is supposedly in development. It'd be really great for them to put in that Assassin's Creed movie if they're making a new one.
I am afraid to ask.
Them doing some stuff from Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be a little too wild, Brock.
Have it be in the past for longer than roughly 2.5 minutes.
That could actually work.
And don't put him on a rig that makes him acting out the shit he's doing in the past, like a fucking jumbo whatever. I did that. But Tommy kind of mentioned it already, but there's going to be a Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view in Boston in December, so that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Kurt Angle's at least going to be at it. There's no way he's not going to be.
I would also put CM Punk on color commentary.
Oh, there's no way he's not. There's no way in hell he's not.
Punk's one of the Punk's one of the best one of the best color commentators that WWE or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, has ever seen. I mean, if because it's going to take place in December, and Pat's going to be off doing is going to be off doing college football. They're running around with his minions somewhere in the country.
Wouldn't he be wrestling though in a match on the show, or?
He very well could be. I don't know. I don't know what this Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view thing is going to be. It's a Cena-themed pay-per-view, so I don't know.
Yeah, unless they just don't. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what this means.
What are you gonna do? Put him on the undercard against B Square?
Do you remember Red Dog?
I thought we need the beer Red Dog.
Yes, I know. And you can get a 30-pack for underwit. You can give someone $10 and get change back for a 30 of Red Dog.
What's that red dog doing up there?
Nothing. It's making me go to the bathroom is what it's doing. All right. Anyway, so we're going to leave that topic you typed in brief for the last part because I don't know how long it's going to last. So we're just going to let that go as long as you guys can talk about it because I don't have much to say on that. All right. So I want to say like a year ago, a production company that got me through some of the hardest times of my life and introduced the show that got me introduced into doing internet content, Rooster Teeth, shut down because David Zaslav found it in the cushions and decided that that was another thing he wanted to cut. And now Bernie Burns, one of the original founders, has bought it and most of its original IP and did one of the funniest promo cuts ever. They shot in Austin on this thing called Stage 5. It was these two giant like movie production studios that they had. And it shows him pulling up in his Tesla, opening the front door and just flipping on the lights and the whole building's empty. He's like, what the hell happened? I'm back with the milk. Where'd everybody go? But yeah, they don't know exactly what's going on. They do not plan to try and get Ruby back from Viz because Viz is going to give them better support and all of that. But yeah, Rooster Teeth is a thing again. And as a guy that like middle high school until when it was shut down, a good chunk of my life, it's kind of cool to see like Smosh is back with Ian and Anthony, and now Rooster Teeth is back with its original owners. It's cool to see these people getting their IPs back from giant corporations that didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah, that's a nice little victory for them.
It's fantastic. Now, it's going to take time for people to get hired in that, but I don't know what happened to the rest of the staff, so it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, it's nice because, I mean, Rooster Teeth was always like the redheaded stepchild of WB. Like, they only got it because they bought Crunchyroll from Otter. They bought Otter Media to get like Crunchyroll and everything, and then they decided to sell Crunchyroll because I guess WB just doesn't like money, even though they're already involved in like anime. And I'm like, there's probably some more profitable like assets that they could have sold. They got more money back, but what do I know?
No, give it to Sony, who already has basically every form of animation short of fucking High Dive. The more I find out that they own an animation, I am freaking shocked that, well, they are a Japanese company, so I guess it's not the patent laws.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
But it's not like, what I want to say, like anti-monopoly trust laws and that shit because they're Japanese. It's not really a American thing to deal with, but yeah, anyway. So I'll read the thing. Hey, almost a year ago, we all are saddened to learn that Rooster Teeth is shutting its doors. Today, I'm very happy to say that I completed the acquisition of Rooster Teeth brand and many of its remaining properties. The detail of all this would be too much to communicate in a letter on a website, so please stay tuned on February 5th episode of Morning Somewhere podcast if you want to find out more, or you can check out the press release. There's a lot of work to do before the relaunch. In the meantime, I hope you can join me in welcoming back the brand that was so important to so many people over so many years. Stay tuned. He has his own company called Box Canyon Productions, which is a Halo reference because they were made off of the back of Red vs. Blue. So it's cool. Yeah. Anyway, so before we get to the very last topic, we have one that I don't know how people are going to feel on considering who the guy is making the statement. But Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld will cut ties in all ways with Marvel after he and his family weren't invited to Disney's Deadpool and Wolverine premiere after party. Liefeld has other gripes with Marvel involving creator recognition in his film credits. He was in the first fucking movie. And what he perceives as a lack of respect from the film and television studio chiefs Kevin Feige. He was in the first Deadpool movie. Liefeld attended a screening at Manhattan's Lincoln Center and says he posed on the red carpet with Deadpool and Wolverine, but alleges the photos were deleted before they were posted anywhere. If this was anyone other than Rob Liefeld, I would be looking into it more.
Yeah, see, the thing of it is with Rob Liefeld is the fact that he hasn't been kind to people that worked on Deadpool.
No.
Fabian Nicieza is the co-creator of Deadpool. Do you ever hear Rob go to bat for him?
No. He's the Bill
Um,
Finger in this situation.
Yes, he is.
No. He's the Bob Kane.
No, I'm saying Fabian
Rob
is the
Liefeld.
Bill
Oh,
Finger.
sorry.
Fabian's
Fabian
the Bill
is
Finger.
the Bill
Yes,
Finger, yes. And
yes.
I had the pleasure of meeting Fabian at one of the cons that I went to, and he's a very cool guy. Scolded me for not writing enough, which is fine. I mean, I'll take it from him. He's a good writer.
Nice.
But I mean, he was very cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's a funny guy too. Cable and Deadpool, one of the best books ever. He was hilarious the way he wrote those characters. And Liefeld did the covers for that series for a lot of the time, which is odd, or at least for the first couple runs, which is really weird. But I mean, like, yeah, I think that's my issue here is the fact that he will go to bat for himself, absolutely. But would he go to bat for any other creators that are there? I don't think so.
No.
We know for a fact that, a lot of his statements were against Kevin Feige. And it's like, we know for a fact that at Comic Cons and stuff, Kevin Feige will not only name check, he will bring out comic book creators. And, and he will, I just think, first of all, you're burning, whatever the hell happened there. You're burning bridges with someone who is basically in charge of all of the characters now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not named Rob Truth. That's a really good way of putting it, Umbreon. I think that, I don't know. That would be my question to Rob Liefeld himself. Would be just like, would you go to bat for any other creators in that situation? Would you help them out? Would you do anything? Would you say any words on their behalf? Because you can certainly say a lot on your behalf, which is fine. But it's an after party, bro. Like, just be happy that you got enough credit for making the character. Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, you got enough.
You were like a millionaire back in the day, and
Yes.
and I mean that dried up, but still, it's like you were a millionaire back in the day, and like you look at other people that have contributed arguably more to the character. I would absolutely say that.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Paul. I would absolutely say that, you've been given enough credit, and that there are other people who should be given at least the same amount of credit.
Yes.
And I'm not taking anything away from Fabian and away from Rob. But if we're going to get mad about him being a super creative person, I'm going to remind someone of a little character called Deathstroke. And also, everyone here has watched Marvel movies. We've watched Marvel movies for a long time.
Yes.
If Kevin Feige is such a ruthless, unforgiving, non-credit giving asshole, why is Rob Liefeld the first person saying something?
Yeah.
You can't tell me anyone else wouldn't have went, I'm not going to lose any money. I'm probably, because people getting these credits, I'm not saying they're not getting paid, and I don't know if they are, but they're probably not getting paid enough to where if they said something wrong, they're going to miss that amount of money.
Sir Paul. Go ahead, Brock.
No, that's all I had. Go ahead, Ty. That's all I had.
I was just going to say, in the immortal words of my musical hero, Sir Paul McCartney, he wrote a song from his album Egypt Station called "Despite Repeated Warnings," and the line that really stuck with me was, "Those who shout the loudest may not always be the smartest, but they have their proudest moments right before they fall." Life lesson. Stick with it.
Yeah, and I like how Rob, who did, now correct me if I'm wrong, he's in the first Deadpool movie, and they mentioned him by name. Did they, is he mentioned in the second? Also, no recognition, Liefeld's feet is in the Deadpool movie.
It's in the movie. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is going to have a field day with when he comes back for Secret Wars.
Oh, absolutely. And again, Captain Pockets can just shut up about what, because I freaking, oh my God. You don't see, here's a minor one. Todd McFarlane, people don't always have a positive opinion on him. I personally don't have any problems with Todd McFarlane. A lot of his inspiration for drawing, among other things, are exampled and used in movies for character he's done, like Spider-Man and that. I don't ever see his name in credits when it's clearly a version, whether it be the webbing pattern, whether it be certain poses struck. Do you know who's not complaining? Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's probably because he has like a whole toy empire.
well, I get that, but again, Liefeld was a millionaire. He's probably not doing as well by his own decisions.
Yeah, probably.
And Todd McFarlane's fighting for his life to just try and get Spawn onto a screen. He could give two shits
That
less.
was a long time ago.
Yeah, it
when
was
they were
supposed to be
millionaires.
it was supposed to be a freaking Blumhouse movie that roughly was 9 million years ago, what it feels like now.
Yeah,
but-
that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I did, as an aside to this whole thing, I did read or briefly like skim a post by Gail Simone, who is a writer who has also contributed a lot to Deadpool.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100%
Yeah,
correct.
and she said that, what she said was that she didn't want to comment on like directly on the entirety of the issue because she doesn't know how Rob was, she has no firsthand knowledge.
Yeah.
But apparently she was also maybe at the premiere. I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on this, but apparently she was also at the premiere, and she said that anytime she's been at Marvel events, they have always treated her kindly and with respect.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so I mean, that's the thing of it is that I want creators to get as much credit as they possibly can,
Yeah,
but I
same.
also, like it's an after party, dude.
Also, the one that makes me not believe a damn part of this is many people posed with me on the red carpet and took pictures, but they deleted them before they could get posted.
Yeah.
What?
No.
Why?
I'm like, Rob, did you ever consider that maybe it's you?
Maybe. Just
I honestly think that
Maybe a little
he
bit.
and he just has an inflated ego.
You know
Because-
what it looks like? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he the guy that wrote the unbelievably not correct Atonally Captain America?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's his ego, that chest, whatever
I
thing.
I mentioned Michael Jordan earlier, and I guess my one
There you go. Umbreon knows what we're talking about.
I guess
that would be the Captain America chesticles.
the one thing I will say to Rob Liefeld, if that's how you're going to be, especially with that comment about red carpet photos, the one thing I will say, I'll just look you dead in the eye and just calmly say, stop it. Get some
Need
help.
Yes. Yes. And also, here's the thing. Here's one last thing before we go on to the main topic that we go to. If Kevin was such a heartless bastard, would he have also not invited you to the red carpet?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were there, but magically your photos got deleted because that makes sense.
And also, he's a guy on a red carpet. He's a producer of all these movies. He's probably fucking busy. And
Yeah.
he's sitting, and, like, I don't know if he has the time to like literally turn around and be like, he's got like a bajillion reporters asking him questions and shit. And then
Getty
he's gonna turn
Images.
around and be like, "Hi, Rob, nice to see you." I mean,
I
I don't get it.
Getty Images.
Oh.
I mean, and anything, anyone, Bueller, anyone.
All right. Enough about people that can't get over themselves. We are now going to, and I'm going to go get a drink because I don't have as much to talk about this. So I'm just going to show this to you guys. Super Bowl, go.
All right. Bree,
Yeah.
take it away.
So I had a lot of fun on Sunday. It was
Yes,
so
indeed.
good for me.
Oh, what a game. What, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, that was like,
Indeed.
I mean, I'm like shocked. I mean, this is probably like the most relaxed I was at with an Eagles game all season, because I was by like the first quarter, because usually I'm like either stress drinking, just get coffee, or like other beverages. But I was just like, you know what? They got this. Like, other than that one weird like pickup like interception on like the 2-yard line that didn't matter anyway. Like, I mean, shit happens. Like what are you gonna do with that? It was a stupid throw. It happened, but it didn't matter. Like, they played flawlessly. Like, by like
They did.
no, by like, you know, right before at halftime, I was like, like, I don't think there's a collapse. Like, I think they're good. And I was right. I just thought this game would be closer. And then, Mike, you and your Bills, like, what the hell?
I was honestly getting pissed in the first half, because I'm like, this is the team the Bills lost to. This.
Because here's the thing. The Chiefs playing, and like, I mean, the Broncos did well this year, but I'm like, their division is like fucking terrible. I'm like, if they played in any other division, like this team this year, more realistically, probably would have been like a 10-7 or 11-6 team. Like, that 15-2 is a fucking mirage, especially when you play the Raiders twice. Like, that's like 2 free spaces on a bingo card.
Yeah.
or a betting sheet if you were at one of my two bars from down the street with the Super Bowl bets. But anyway,
I was just, I mean, there wasn't that much of a point differential, but I was like, I couldn't believe like they had like the Chiefs like up like more than a point over like the Eagles, when everything statistically, like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying on paper, like, the Eagles were better in like every like statistical way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the talk of the 3-peat, what happened? I mean,
I mean, as soon as that interview with Brady like happened, that was the kiss of death. I was like,
as long as Brady is in attendance, Mahomes cannot win the game.
And the Eagles win.
I love that. I honestly love that.
They showed Travis Kelce a couple times, like one walking back to the locker room and then a couple times on the bench, and he looked gassed. I mean, I couldn't help but feel sorry.
He looked honestly defeated.
You want to know a crazy stat? I think Serena Williams, when she was crip walking during a halftime show, had more yards than Travis Kelce. I'm going to be honest with you. I think she did.
I think you're right, honestly.
Can I also say one thing? Have I been sleeping on just how good of a color commentator Tommy is?
Yeah, he's really good.
He's actually really good.
Now, I will say, he's not on all the time, but when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he could talk about some of the guys, like he could talk about some of his old teammates. Like, I just kind of love that.
Yes.
Whenever he talks about like Mike, is it Mike Evans on Tampa?
Oh yeah,
I think the wide receiver. I think it's Mike Evans. So whenever he talks about Mike, he's always just like, "Yeah, Mike and I used to talk about that," and it's like, I'm just like cracking up because it's so funny to hear that from a commentator.
My favorite thing was sitting with hearing with people that I know hate Tom Brady's guts. Now, I will openly admit I was one of those people. When I was younger, I did not watch football. I fell in love with the Patriots because we had old books in our library when I was in elementary school, and I loved their old logo that actually had like the Patriot.
Yeah, the Patriot.
I love that. So then my mom found me drawing it and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, he likes the Patriots." Blah blah blah. Started getting me Patriots crap. That was a year before Brady won his first one. And I'll admit, I just stayed on for the hell of it. And then I was that same douchebag that as soon as he got traded to the Buccaneers, just was screaming, "Fire the cannons," just to piss people off. So whenever I see people, and my mom is one of these people, after she got to watching football with me, she hates Tom Brady. She hates it with all she hates him. So when they're sitting there watching this, I'm like, I know she's watching it with my stepdad, Jeff. And every single time the other commentator went, "So Tom, how's it feel about you?" Just stop talking and asking his opinion.
Because here's the thing, like, as a player, I hate his guts, but honestly, like his commentary about like football and like his base takes about like, did you hear that interview that he did like a couple months ago? I forget like where it was, but saying about like how the quarterback plays like kind of gotten worse because they're throwing these guys out there before they're ready and not teaching them fundamentals. Like 100% spot on.
That is one of the main reasons why I'll never understand this for the life of me, Wisconsinite here, why people don't understand how the Packers miraculously always have a like 9 out of 10 quarterback, because they keep one for like 6 years and let a backup learn from him the entire time so that when he's ready, he's got experience.
Yeah.
Not these other teams that go, yeah, we got a rookie and oh, he's not banging 40 points a game right away. They need practice.
Man, I mean, I'll say this. I'll say this too. You know, the Buccaneers are like my secondary team behind the Niners. But like, so when Tom Brady, I used to hate his guts in New England, and then when he went over to Tampa, I was like, you know what? Like, oddly enough, now I kind of don't mind you.
Yeah.
And also, he had that one, the meme about these balls are all perfect, and that made me laugh. That was actually one of the funniest.
My favorite Brady interview, I can't remember what it was on, but it was about like, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, right when all that talk of Bill Belichick like looking into teaching college. And they had Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady on the panel, and they're like, can you imagine Bill teaching? He's like, no. Can you imagine him on a recruitment drive going, you're trying to pay for my college and this is the shit plays you're giving me? Go back to your parents. Can you imagine him trying to recruit players?
Hilarious.
But one of the funniest things was after no one showed any interest in Belichick, he shows up wearing all 8 of his Super Bowl rings to that freaking announcement thing. I was like, Bill, that's the most boss shit I've ever seen a head coach do in my life.
Snoop Dogg going after his girlfriend. I mean, that's the thing. When Brock became a Patriots fan, Bill Belichick's girlfriend wasn't even born yet.
That you're not wrong.
Ouch.
Hey, man. At least he's not like Leo. So after she turns 26, he's going to keep her.
Oh, my God.
But, okay. One thing I have to talk about as far as that game goes, we talked about it off camera. That was some of the worst reffing I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but someone got a straight up kung fu palm punch to the face and almost got his helmet clocked clean up. Nothing. But in the start of the game, one on the Eagles, one on the Chiefs, they just went and tapped their face mask and they asked us as if they shot the other guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And listen, bro, you got to keep it interesting for the fans, both in attendance and on TV. We got to really throw in that swerve, that curveball, keep the fans on their toes. That's what gets the best ratings, bro.
That's what they did when I have to. Okay, I'm going to openly admit Kendrick Lamar is a very talented artist.
Yes.
I wasn't the hugest fan of the halftime show. Like, it was just kind of there. But I will tell you, when he cock teased everyone throughout that entire performance about playing Not Like Us, and then finally, when he's like, I want to play their favorite song, but you know they like to sue. And then when that, I know I've talked about this with Mike. I hate petty people. Hate them. But when you take your pettiness to an art form to the level of Kendrick Lamar, to where he looks dead down the barrel of the camera and goes, say Drake, like with the biggest smile on his face. That was and then you had an entire Super Bowl call him a pedophile.
It was kind of glorious to watch.
It was. But I like it when Kendrick does his performances where you can see like his inner theater kid coming out and like the whole narrative and like getting Sam Jackson is like Uncle Sam. And like the whole plot of the halftime show is like getting Kendrick to not sing Not Like Us.
And having a parade of Bloods and Crips all come out of that car. That entrance where they were all pouring out of that car was fantastic.
I love that.
And that's the thing that really that really made this halftime show stand out, because it's a halftime show, but one of the key phrases in that is the word show. And that's what it was. And the message that Kendrick provided, and with Samuel Jackson as the narrator, so to say, as Uncle Sam, it really stood out and provided that level of uniqueness. Now, the question that I ask myself, will it stand the test of time? That's what remains to be seen. But that difference and that uniqueness is what really sold the show.
It's gonna stand in the long run, but like, I know I've talked about this before, but when okay, we have to bring up a shot because I finally found it. This is one of the best shots ever that Kendrick should just live off of.
I know the one you're talking about.
Well, it's not the one where he's smiling. I'm gonna bring up one that was actually just a sick ass looking photo. That is sick as shit.
Yeah.
But no, Kendrick Lamar, we'll see if I can find it because it ought to pop up right here. Like, can you just look at how happy this man is? That is a new comment photo of mine, by the way. Whenever someone says don't start anything, that is going to be what I reply to them. There's always that thing on TikTok. It's like, don't be on your way with your bullshit. And then it's me with my bullshit. But yeah, hey, Ghost Sprinkle. Having Kendrick Lamar's ex crip walking while this guy is calling him a pedophile.
You mean Drake's ex, right?
Well, Drake's ex, Serena Williams, was crip walking as he's walking through, again, getting more yards than Kelsey had in that game, as all this is going through, and then also saying the game was over while his entire stage was basically a giant PlayStation controller.
Brilliant.
Was fantastic. I'm trying to comprehend where, again, and Tommy, I don't know if you know this part. So, what started all this was Kendrick Lamar, or not Kendrick Lamar, Drake did some very questionable hangout time with Millie Bobby Brown when she was 14. And then openly would invite less than 18-year-olds on stage. And when he found out they were less than 18, he would say, "Do you know how I have a hard time controlling myself around girls like you?" But anyway, so this whole thing happened, and Drake found out that you do not fuck with a man that only spends time with his family and writes raps for his entire life. Found that out very badly. But
you don't say.
You don't say. But then here was the thing. Not Like Us comes out and blows up, wins Song of the Year, wins 5 Grammys. But before this, it got streamed insane. Kendrick Lamar on Juneteenth, keep in mind, held a concert, which he played that song 5 times in a row, and the crowd sang it word for word.
Each and every single time.
Each and every single time, and cheered louder each and every single time. So now, every day, who Drake gets accused of not living like a real black person, every time Juneteenth comes up on the year-end reminder, the concert of someone calling him out on not living a black lifestyle is going to come up as a reminder. And on that, he had Crips and Bloods united together to say how much they hate Drake in California.
You know, the other best thing about the A minor thing, too, other than the obvious thing, the A minor is also a white key.
Yes, there's no black keys in A minor whatsoever. The more you think about it, the more you realize that Kendrick Lamar is a freaking genius. But the last detail that I'm getting to about this is that Drake ended up suing. Oh, by the way, Drake's music group is Sony, and he had a Sony PlayStation controller as his set at the Super Bowl. That is fucking hilarious. But
that's hilarious.
Anyway, so Drake sues, I believe it's
Universal.
Universal, thank you.
Universal.
Sues Universal, and this is how he sued them. Keep in mind, song calling him a pedophile in multiple creative ways. Keep that in mind. Drake sues him and Universal because he believes they inflated the numbers of the amount of times people listen to the song about him calling him a pedophile. He didn't. sue him right away for defamation about the fact that he called him a pedophile. He just said there's no way that many people listen to a song about it. So, what that also means is that the NFL had to know he was going to sing this because he had to rehearse this, and they didn't care. And you know what the best part is? That Hey Drake that I just showed you that picture, or Say Drake right there, before he starts singing the worst part of the diss to him, is pinned on ESPN's TikTok as the top video. No one likes Drake.
I think of it's the funny thing was it slipped the back of my mind, but the best thing that I think of is
yes, that's exactly what I was talking about, Brian. Yes. Didn't have to.
The Colin Jost, Michael Shea joke swap from Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live. Not the most recent one, but the one before they went into summer break. The one they went to summer break, and if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it. But
was it the one with Scarlett Johansson?
No, it was the one before this one because that was the one where he was talking about that was the one where he was talking about Pete Diddy, but he said something about he said something that just made him jump out of his that made him jump out of his chair, and he was like, I won't spoil what it was, but he ended with so to quote Hamilton, "Shoot your shot, player."
Oh God.
So
I missed.
So YouTube it at your own discretion. YouTube it at your own discretion. I'll drop the link in the live chat, but
okay.
You know what the funniest thing about the Degrassi thing is, because I saw the episode when he got shot, and like as a teenager, like that was traumatizing because you were like, Jimmy, no, and then seeing it now, I have nothing but laughter just seeing. He just goes shoot, and then he just down on the ground.
Wow,
that's fantastic. Did y'all see I think I posted in the chat. Did you all see the meme of the sideways look and then the turn back of that? I can't remember where it's from, that like puppet looking thing.
Yeah.
That does the side eye. Did I send that in the group?
Yep.
Yeah.
The one with,
the one with Taylor Swift doing the same thing. Because I guess she got shown on the screen and she didn't know she was being shown on the screen. And I guess the whole stadium was just booing out of control. And she's like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think what happened is there's definitely like a higher ratio of Eagles fans there. And just for context, Taylor Swift is from the Philadelphia area, and she used to
I did not know that.
Yeah, so actually, like during like when she was debuting, like really like early in her career, I think she sang the national anthem at the World Series that the Phillies won. So that's why she was getting booed by Philadelphia people, because betraying, and also it's just like, but certain people thought it didn't mean that because she went against me in a political movement that it's because they're getting revenge because anti-MAGA. I'm like, no, you got.
Here's the best.
There's a bunch of drunk people from Philadelphia. There's like, oh, boo.
Here's wonder what that reminds me of. Not to get off, we'll get back to super after this. So during the first Raw on Netflix, The Undertaker comes out. I don't care. I don't care what your political views are. I don't care if you're conservative, liberal, whatever. You're my friend. I don't care who you voted for. You do whatever. But just there has to be a base of this to say why this story's funny. The Undertaker and Kane endorsed Trump. Undertaker comes out, raucous applause. Everyone loves him.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan also endorsed Trump. Comes out, booed out of the building. And people try to say it was political.
Not only endorsed the president, he spoke at the RNC.
Yes. And then later on, he goes on Pat McAfee's show, and I love Pat McAfee with every fiber of my being. So as he's talking, and I don't know if Hogan caught what he said, But he's like, so yeah, you came out and you got booed. What was going on? And then Hogan goes, yeah, that was all political. And as he's talking, he's like, yeah, and probably the other stuff too. And like Hogan didn't comment on that part. He just looked at him and didn't say a word.
It's like it's almost as if people are willing to overlook one thing, but not when you compound it with something that's even worse.
Exactly. So it's like the whole thing with Taylor, I'm like, no, that is 1,000%. I'm going to tell you as partially the people that were fans of the NFL that got sick of her being shown on screen and overreacted and were just pissy about that. And the Chiefs thing. If you were honestly booing her because of her political standings, just shut up. Just shut up.
I mean, Fox only caught the tail end of it, but like even there, I mean, even with the president being in attendance, I mean, and that tidbit, I don't know if it was in the or like in between timeout break, they played Lee Greenwood's "God Bless the USA." So, so you can't say, so you can't like say something was political XYZ or whatever the case may be.
Street, I saw what? I saw.
Oh yeah,
they
grease the poles. Oh, because people in Philadelphia climb the light poles.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, I have a question.
They will also take the light poles into the street. Like they will just take them off the stand.
Yeah. I have a question. As far as commercials go, was this like kind of one of the worst Super Bowls ever in that regard?
I wouldn't say it's the worst. It's
not even close.
It was just kind of nothing.
No, like the crypto commercials and then the year Baby Not Happened were arguably worse. It just the commercials just didn't even feel like Super Bowl commercials.
That's
they were
what
like
I
just
mean.
Commercials.
There was just commercials. And there was like 7 commercials that I'd already seen.
Well, that's the new thing now is that they upload them early. I'm like,
I don't like when they do that.
No, I don't like it either.
I mean commercials I've seen like 3 weeks ago were on this show.
I would say that when you think back to memorability, like you ask yourself the best and worst of Super Bowl commercials, like there were some pretty good ones, but I'd say if I had to get the worst one out of the way, it was Eugene Levy's Little Caesars ad. That was like
was weird. Also, Eugene Levy's was up there. I didn't know if I ever wanted to see what Andy Reid looked like without a mustache.
Oh yeah, that was disturbing.
No.
It's not the worst nightmare fuel, but
it's not, but
he
literally looks like a different human being.
No, the only time that's acceptable is, have you ever seen that meme screenshot of like 13-year-old Andrew Reid from when he was playing football?
Andrew Reid, good lord. That's like James Carey from In Living Color.
I would say.
Or Larry Fishburne when he was in whatever, was that Nightmare on Elm Street he was in?
No, it was a Candyman, wasn't it?
Was it? He was in one of the old slasher films, and he was Larry Fishburne.
Yeah, let me just see if I can find the Andrew Reid.
Of course, you gotta. If we're talking Super Bowl ads, we gotta kick it off with the first one, and of course, gotta talk about the one, the only, Dunkings.
with Jeremy Strong.
I was just like,
fun of
I
his
didn't
method
watch it.
acting.
Brock's gonna love this.
Oh God.
I had the
actually did
picture.
not mind the Dunkings. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't mind that one either. Oh yeah, Ron Swanson also missing his mustache was weird.
Oh God.
But Jay and Silent Bob being in there as well. I mean, that was pretty.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
Yeah.
It was, and it's kind of refreshing. It's kind of refreshing too because like for the longest time, Bud Light, that was Bud Light's spot.
Yeah.
And it was, and then like some sort of an alcoholic beverage, and now you got coffee. You got coffee. You got this wonderful coffee ad showcasing it. The whole 6.5 minute one was brilliant. I was in.
All right.
I was at.
Andrew
13.
Reid.
Age 13.
Now is that him or the one on the right?
No, that's Andy Reid. 13 years old compared to everyone else.
Good lord. That man is a mammoth. Jesus.
No, they had
That is like bench warmers. I am 12.
really, I need a refill. You need to go to an AA
A
meeting.
meeting.
But I was at Union Station in New Haven yesterday, and the Dunkin' there, they had they had on the screen, they started playing the ad on repeat. I mean, it was like reminiscent of back in the day when you would see ads in local Blockbuster on repeat. Nonetheless, like, that's when you know you're in for something really unique and really special. Al Pacino ain't got nothing on that with his Dunkachino. Anyway, but if we were talking, let me see here. We were talking like the best commercials. We're looking at we talked earlier about how Pat McAfee's a national treasure. Dodge, Goldilocks, and the Three Trucks. That was probably the best. That was probably the best one.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
agree.
One of my favorite
That was a
ones
very good
was
one.
the it was for Bud Light, but it was the two guys, Shane Gillis and
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. They're when they brought over the guys to help fix your bad lawn party, and they just start shooting the Bud Light ones all over. And then when he comes over, he's like, "Your lawnmower can smoke weed." He's like, "No, my meat smoker can cut grass."
That was Post Malone, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Post Malone. You're correct. It was
Oh,
Post Malone.
I was
Yes.
going to say Morgan Wallen's a piece of is a piece of you know what. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there was also there was I was also talking with people who didn't know what the Puppy Monkey Baby was in the car before we watched the Super Bowl because I brought up that someone dressed as that freakazoid at one of the first cons that I went to. But the guy was taller than me who dressed as it, and it was very realistic and it was terrifying. And then one of the first commercials come up, that Freak of Nature was back on it.
Oh,
Maybe.
that's the Instacart.
Yeah, the Instacart commercial. What was that thing for initially? Was it Mountain Dew or
Yeah, it
was it
was
Mountain Dew?
it was for Mountain Dew.
Okay.
it was purple Mountain Dew came out that one year. Speaking of Mountain Dew, Steel.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So I saw a screenshot of
the
that-
seal.
Yeah, I saw a screenshot of that days before it was in a Facebook group. I saw that screenshot and I just commented, "Oh no, it's fine. I wasn't planning on sleeping tonight anyway."
No. That's my sleep paralysis demon. That's what that was right there.
He clearly, hasn't been the same since his marriage to Heidi Klum fell apart.
What is
But Brock,
No, it's like the classic "Kiss from a Rose" from Batman Forever. It's just are they really parodying this for a seal as a seal? I want to sit in these boardroom meetings where they're like, "Here's seal as a seal." What else you got?
Great idea. Great idea.
Mountain Dew? I don't know.
To be fair, that's the most Mountain Dew commercial you could possibly make. I mean, if that doesn't say what Mountain Dew is in a brand, the only mistake that they should have done is they should have gotten 100 Gex in there. That's the only thing that would have made it better.
They should have got 100 Gex singing about Gex the Gecko from the 60s.
They should have got. They should have got for the Mountain Dew commercial. They should have gotten to go to be with Seal.
I don't know.
Puppy Monkey Baby.
Oh, no. No. The only thing that was more terrifying than Puppy Monkey Baby was I think intentionally bad CGI of Seal's head on that seal.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that was intentional because
That was intentional.
I was
Oh!
I was more comfortable with that than I was with Tubi's ad.
That's right.
Oh, Tubi's ad.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
Oh God, those were horrible.
All of Tubi's ads, this campaign, I fucking hate it. Actually, none of them have been good.
How do you come up with, we're talking about the skinhead cowboy, or am I thinking of it?
cowboy hat thing that came out of like
Yeah,
the guy's skin
yeah.
or something.
A,
Yeah,
that we
the
had to
flesh
show that
cowboy hat.
commercial, I believe, 3 times. But
3
B,
times.
my roommate had to point it out to me because he was like really freaking out. And I'm like, what are you? He's like, I thought it was just a joke that the baby was wearing a cowboy hat, but she had to give birth with that cowboy hat on. And I went, ow.
Oh.
Ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh.
I got that as an ad before the stream.
No.
What was I remember there was a Chat GPT one. What was it?
I can't remember.
I think
that in the Google Gemini ad, it was like,
What was the Chat
wasn't
GPT
it like
one
going
again?
through like the generations of technology or something? Like going like, and it was just all done in like weird, like almost like ASCII code. Like it wasn't ASCII code, but I mean it was just like, you know, pixels
Maybe?
essentially for the Chat
Maybe.
GPT one.
Maybe.
It was really weird.
Really?
And I was like, what the hell are they even advertising with this?
yeah. You know what it reminds me so much, and this is what I'm kind of hoping is, because remember like the year like they had all the crypto ads,
Yeah.
and then that went.
Just fizzled out.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen here too, because
there was one.
The Harrison Ford Jeep commercial.
Well, that too, also known as. I mean, the only thing missing at the end of it was I'm Thaddeus Warros and I approve this message.
Yeah, for real.
Just have the Hulk punch him clean out of it.
What did he end with? It was like,
Even
it
though
was
my
like,
last name is
Jeep makes
Ford.
me happy, even though my name is Ford.
Like the title was Owner's Man, which from a
Yeah.
unification standpoint, makes sense. We trying to reunite us all, but which actually makes sense, and I got one of it, but nonetheless, let's see here.
Sure.
Going through my list,
Reunite us through Jeeps, yeah.
Yes.
classic.
Take the doors off and let everyone in.
Ray-Bans, also known as the Florence Award, walk into an art gallery.
I remembered we have another topic after this, but go ahead. I forgot one because Mike commented it on Twitter, and I wasn't not going to bring it up.
Wait, which one?
Matthew.
It's Mr. Bob.
Oh,
What commercial was it that had like the guy that was doing the bad Macho Man impression?
Oh, shoot.
wasn't that for Slim Jims or something?
No, it wasn't.
No, it was.
They
for,
were
like,
working in a kitchen on something.
Yeah, it was a kid. So was it like Power Tools or some kind of shit?
it had to be.
Oh my gosh, Macho
God,
Man Super
I don't remember.
Bowl commercial.
I was like, my God, what are they even?
It was Bosch Tools.
Bosch Tools.
That's what it
That's
was.
what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah, and him and Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of, I'll say this much. Getting back to the.
Oh God, I just saw the seal again. God.
Oh God.
Ah! It's not okay. It's just not.
I'll say this. We mentioned earlier. Pat McAfee, talking about the most positively political ad of the Super Bowl, Flags 50. That Flags 50 ad.
I'm legitimately blanking.
Don't remember. I'm blanking on that one.
Well,
That's
that's
how
is that-
memorable it was.
I'm legit blanking. I don't mean to step on your bit here, but I'm legit blanking.
It was the
Flag 50.
Yeah, it was the Pat McAfee played the principal, and
Oh,
I
the
don't
flag
remember
football thing.
Yes, okay.
Where
yes.
they had like it was almost like they were parodying like movies or some shit at the
80s,
beginning.
like 80s, like definitely a page out of the 1980s, but
At first, when I saw the parody part, I was like, okay, this is actually funny. I don't know what it's advertising, but I think it's funny. And then it just kept going on and on and on for so
Yes.
long, and I was like, what in the shit? Like, what is this? What are you
I
guys?
do remember
what?
that. I forgot it was. I didn't know it was called Flag 50. I
I
remember
didn't know
that.
what the
Yes.
name of it was. It was crazy.
Yeah, and to say like legalize
Let the
like
light
to
you shine,
bring
Galaxy.
make
Baby! To a big Super Bowl fun by Philly.
but no, like that was from if you were to call something positively political, that would be that. I mean, that and the Harrison Ford Jeep ad were the two takeaways from the night. But another thing that Mama Hughes, I would probably agree with this. The thing that every time you watch, there's always that one sentimental Super Bowl ad, and to me, there were a few this year, but without question, if this one didn't get you right in the feels, then you're not hooked up right. It was The Little Farmer from Lay's.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was
that was cute. I like that one.
That was sentimental.
that was good.
Yeah, so like right in the fields and having that positive message about being anything you want to be. What?
You know what? Probably is the most sentimental ad of all times.
I'm afraid to ask.
I want to know.
That one Allstate ad
where the kid died? Yeah, I was trying to remember what that was for. It was one of the worst commercials. They do this giant Allstate ad about the protections and this won't happen and this won't. And then it's like, and then little Timmy wouldn't have died if his parents would have had Allstate.
And also, didn't that ad get like removed too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did because it was morbid as fuck. And it was all in black and white. It might as well have had Sarah McLachlan singing in the background.
Oh,
it was just terrible. That was forever. I was legitimately trying to think of what that commercial was. Because I was so uncomfortable when we watched it at my buddy's house. We had no idea what it was about. And it hit us like because my roommate's mom, they have 5 kids. I get along with all of them well, but she has this tradition where she hates commercials. They always get muted. And once we were watching the Super Bowl there and she let us unmute the commercials because me, Danny, Matt, and all the other kids begged her. And that was the first one that got shown.
Oof.
And she went, I think I'm going to mute them again. And we go, yeah, you can do that. You got it, Mom. Go ahead.
So obviously Uber Eats, Matthew and Greta was a nice touch as well. Talking about the history with the buffalo wings.
That's right.
And I'll also going in the pregame, they showed 4 promotional ads for Fox Sports' upcoming coverage of IndyCar. And you got the tire ad, which was the new one. And then you got the showcase of three star athletes in Joseph Newgarden, Alex Palou, and Joseph, the reigning defending 2-time Indy 500 champion. And you got Tommy having a cameo appearance in there as well. And now you got Alex Palou, three-time series champion, the defending series champion at that.
I keep thinking you're going to start doing a Booker T impression every time. 3-time. 2-time.
5-time.
ECW champion. But
Shucky ducky quack quack.
Ducky
Ducky
quack. Now can you dig that, sucker?
Anyway, didn't just say that. Tell me you did not just say that.
Me that I did not just say that. But no, and then Pato Award, who drives for Arrow McLaren, and this is a big deal because his following, there's this big hashtag Pato Who, because I won't go into the details, but trying to get the following that Pato has. He's originally from Nuevo Leon, and he's And if he wins, whether it be the Indy 500 or the Astor Cup, I mean, it'll propel him to that status of mainstream overnight sensation. And whatever reason, if Oscar Piastri's contract is not renewed at McLaren F1, that's where we'll see Pato go, because he's currently the reserve driver for McLaren F1 as well. And any one of those three guys, I mean, they all three have super licenses, and should they get called up, if with Cadillac coming to Formula One as well, Joseph, I mean, from a statistical standpoint, Joseph would be the one that you would want to go after, to have that American driver compete at the highest level of motorsports. But you look at these ad campaigns, and then you look at NASCAR's Daytona 500 commercial for Fox Sports, same entity, and you have Baba O'Reilly playing, and it's just one, but it's nowhere near as impactful in highlighting the superstar appeal and the competitiveness that these athletes are, the relatability. It's just not there. And that's what's going to end. If NASCAR is not internally concerned about how Fox is promoting IndyCar, something is terribly wrong. Because if the trends continue, I mean, this is where sponsors are turning to, and then the viewers are going to turn to as well. I mean, curiosity is going to be one thing, but once these over these 17 events on Fox this season are seen, they're going to stay. All 17 races are going to be on Fox, over the air, on free TV. It's unlike anything we see in professional sports today. So that's what's going to be the most appealing. Similar to back in the 90s when stock car racing was on the rise. Tony George saw this, and the split of American open wheel racing caused such a downfall. And now this rejuvenation of sorts is finally elevating that to the promised land. So it's interesting to see successful ad campaigns, and will it pay off? That remains to be seen. If the trends continue, it's going to be big. Anyway, not to get off topic, but that's what I really enjoyed that one.
Absolutely. Yeah, I kind of think there's any other ones that we had in there worth bringing up.
And someone posted this on X as well. They showcased the Daytona 500 ad from 20 years ago, and it was like a Pirates of the Caribbean type of thing with Jeff Gordon as the pirate, and it was just something like really mainstream, like theatrical, and promotional, and have that superstar appeal. And now, and it's the same thing, except like a completely different type of thing with Joseph, Alex, and Pato. Something relatable. I mean, the differences are bar none. I call it Elon's place, but the point still stands.
Everyone notices that I refuse to update the Twitter logo in the back of here.
Yeah, no, just refuse.
It's not because I'm lazy. Yes, it is. I'm just never going to. But so if we're done, there was one thing that I kind of wanted to hear Mike scream about a little bit, because he commented on it on Twitter. So Mike, go ahead.
You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific, because
Mr. Iger stepping down at the
He's
end of his contract.
savage.
Wait, what?
Yeah, did you not hear about this? Disney announces major executive changes, including when CEO Bob Iger is leaving. He is as announcement. Disney outlined a timeline naming
Iger's leaving.
Longtime CEO Bob Iger's replacement. Iger will leave his position as CEO when his contract ends in late 2026.
Oh well, that's
wait,
that's
that's not news.
Yeah.
What was the thing you were commenting on Twitter then?
Oh, okay. So what I was commenting on Twitter was it was the same thing that a lot of companies are doing. That Disney
Yeah.
yeah.
that Disney is like rolling back their like DEI
Oh, okay.
stuff.
Oh, it had a giant picture of Bob on it, and I thought that's what the article was. They popped, and that was the closest thing that popped up on it.
I'll say this, from that element, from that element, thing that viewers are going to see is that relatability to IndyCar as well. With going back to that promotion with Fox, because with NASCAR, with NASCAR, especially like the Daytona 500 and all that, it's going to be they're going to put on a show. I mean, obviously they're going to put on a show with Anthony Mackie being the Grand Marshal, but when you look at things like that, and not to Google at your own discretion, but when you've got people like that and athletes and Kyle Larson, Noah Gragson, and so on and so forth, like that type of it's not appealing. And when places like Formula One and their campaign that's one and inclusive.
But like I said earlier, is that so many of these things were just so reactionary to after the 2020 George Floyd protests. Like, they're always hollow at best. And this is like an extremely like kind of hot take, but I from like how corporate, like, I hate the term diversity, because to me, in the corporate sense, it means doing the bare minimum and not actually making the improvements. Because if you actually look at the studies, like a lot of the DUI stuff, most of the people that benefited were like white women.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important all are, and that it's a level playing field, specifically from perspective, a race background perspective. And it's like going back to, I'll bring up NASCAR again. An opportunity was there with the new TV deals. With people like places like CW and Prime and Turner Sports coming back. Leah Hexel made a comment about qualified being, there's so many qualified women that deserve the opportunities, but they're not getting, but without presenting them a fighting chance, it's not going to happen. People like Fox, even though she's, and I'm so stoked that she's being able to that lead lap by lap commentary, but people like Venturini, a workhorse for what was Speed for many years, as a pit reporter, and now she's on the Performance Racing Network. You like give her the opportunity of being up commentator. CW's coverage of the Xfinity Series. What do you got to lose? But when you give that opportunity to somebody who's lead commentary on another day, and that's for the Cup Series. It just doesn't make sense to me. They would opportunity to be so tone deaf.
Because it was never about bringing more people to the table. It was just
It's all
putting
about
this little
optics.
veneer of, good PR. And now, that, because notice how quickly they go away, which shows like how thin it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And yeah. All right. So I don't have anything else to talk about. If anyone has anything else we want to talk about quick, otherwise,
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of scared because the last time I brought up something else, there was a casualty.
We
So
do not speak that name on this podcast. Thy surgery that shall not be named will not be brought up on this podcast again. All right, let's get out of here. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. Kiona?
Oh, was
I was attempting to bring something up that should not have been heard that I was going to show after the podcast was done.
Okay, so you guys
That's what I was
you
trying.
guys can find me on that damn social network, formerly known as Twitter at Neoplasmic24, also on Instagram and Threads at Neoplasmic81, and also on Twitch and Blue Sky at Neoplasmic.
Yes. Bree, where can anybody find it?
My main homes are Blue Sky at crazylemur.bsky social, also Instagram at lemurs rule1. Please, I'm going to post this in the Twitch chat. Please listen to the first episode of Lick Rap. I'm very proud of my horrible, ugly little baby. So if you like to hear about bad movies and like actual slightly intelligent commentary in between talking about how much we love dogs, then boy, do I have a show for you.
Yeah. Tommy?
You can follow me on X, the website formerly known as Twitter, at T_Hughes35. Follow me on Blue Sky at thughes35.bsky.social. You can also follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Letterboxd, Snapchat, and Linktree at the TMoney35. Be sure to check out my second Instagram dedicated to cooking, which is at Cooking with T-Money. For a limited time only, but God, that's a story that I'll tell you about once we get off screen. Anyway, if you're looking to celebrate Valentine's Day, specifically for our friend, the Connecticut lawmaker, who will not be named, the experience of going to the movies continues at Sinopolis, at your local Sinopolis Luxury Cinema. Our Valentine's Day specials includes truffle lobster pasta, creamy Boursin cheese sauce with an aromatic truffle oil tossed with fresh basil, sun-dried tomatoes, and sprinkled with herb croutons and Parmesan Reggiano cheese. Red velvet cake, which is a bright red velvet cake frosted with a cream cheese frosting and fresh strawberries with a drizzled chocolate. And wine of the month is Studio Mirabelle Rosé, fresh red berries, cherry blossom, discounted at a reasonable price. But I cannot end this conversation without introducing one's broadened horizons to a brave new world, which is Sky High Rita and a strawberry smash to fuel one's inner hero. Going to pair, I can get my words out right. Sky High Rita made with Cristiano tequila, vanilla, blue Curaçao lime, and simple syrup. Strawberry smash made with Old Forester bourbon, strawberry, lemon, mint, simple syrup, and Sprite. Available for a limited time that pairs great with Sinopolis screenings of Captain America: Brave New World. Check them out at your local Sinopolis locations.
Bye.